as an undergraduate at Trinity College in Hartford. And I have to tell you what I do so that you can find out what he did, which is to lead to today. And that is, I'm a phylogeneticist. I study organisms based upon their molecular fingerprint and put them on the tree of life so that you know where species are. And about November of Todd's freshman year, he ambled into my lab and said he wanted to use some space in the greenhouse to grow some seeds, to grow some plants, to make some money for the biology club. It's about the money. And so I went through that and I said, of course you can do that, that's fine. But tell me about yourself and why are you a biology major? And he told me, and he was so articulate, and I could tell he was so smart, that I said to him, can I tell you about what I do? And I gave him this very complicated story about an organism that hadn't been seen since 1881. And it was this big, and it was in deep water off Bermuda. And I had just gone in the middle of the winter to dive in Bermuda to collect this little organism. And I said, it hasn't been seen since 1881, and everybody assumes it's the same species that is found in Europe. And I explained this long, convoluted story, and I said, but I discovered something really interesting. In the middle of summer, there's a plant about this big out in the ocean. And the one that's this big is flat and branched and in one plane. And the one that's this is just this monster of round branches coming up like this. I explained the whole story to him and I said, did you get that? And he came back and explained precisely the problem that I had solved over these past several years. And I said, I have seniors that can't do that. He's the smartest young man I ever taught in 45 years. I invited him to my lab, and by the end of his freshman year, he had described a new genus. A genus is like the oaks, red oaks and white oaks and pin oaks. He described, and has his name on forever, the name of a new genus. In his sophomore year, he described a new species with me. By his junior year, I had sort of said, you need to get some genetic training, and I sent him down the hall to another lab. And then we discussed, well, maybe we should graduate in 3 years, because he was taking extra courses, and he worked in my lab from mid-afternoon all the way till 9 and 10 every night. I didn't think he had a life. But since it was in my lab, it was wonderful. And so that's what happened. He graduated in 3 years, and he was the first student at the college to not write a thesis to graduate with honors because he had 2 published papers. By his junior year, he had a paper his freshman year. He's the only undergraduate that ever published a new genus in my lab. Now, of all the students I taught, and I taught tens of thousands over the years, he's in the top 3. But none of the other 2 were as smart as Todd, and not as mature. He came as a freshman that was 40 years old. So, be very careful. This guy's a lot older than that. And he became part of Ginny's and my family. And was so happy for both of you. And you know, follow your dreams, both of you. Not just together, but separately. And do what's right and do what's best. And always live on the edge of understanding. Learn something every day. We love you both.
Yeah, maybe.